Hello MBA aspirants. I'm Dr Vinita Singh and have been in education industry for more than 3 decades with qualitative experience in admissions consulting. While I continue to help students with statement of purpose or essays, recommendations and interviews with almost 100% success rate for the top business schools. Today through this video titled MBA admissions process for top business schools recommendations part 1, I'm going to talk all about the recommendation process and recommendations which are needed when you are applying to the top business schools. Business schools ask recommenders to evaluate the applicants on qualities related to brains, business skills, and personal characteristics. Friends, let me share an interesting story here. I remember watching Oprah Winfrey Harvard commencement speech 2013. Oprah mentioned that her single most important learning in 25 years of her career, where she interviewed so many influential people, was that, I quote, "We all want to be understood," unquote. She revealed that, I quote, "The moment camera shut off, everybody in their own way wanted to know, was that okay?" Unquote. She heard it from President Bush, President Obama, heroes, housewives, and the list is endless. Getting back to recommendations, I'm going to talk about different aspects to be covered in a recommendation and also about various qualities that a recommender endorses an applicant for. An applicant enthusiastically claims in the SOP or essays that he or she possesses intellectual curiosity, analytical ability, managerial and career potential, motivation, leadership qualities, imagination, creativity, and the like. Some other qualities that could be mentioned are team dynamics, organizational skills, taking initiatives, making decisions, solving problems, scholarly interest, self-confidence, communication skills, maturity, integrity, empathy, honesty, sense of humor, and so on. Having said that, these are applicants' claims and he or she must ensure that the recommender says, "Hey, you are good and I will endorse you." Business schools also want to know from the recommenders, is the applicant brilliant? Friends, my mission is to make your MBA admissions process a smooth ride with my swift and sure guidance. Working as an admissions consultant, I've helped hundreds of students get invites and admits from top business schools like ISB, IIMs, Oxford, INSEAD, Wharton, Chicago, MIT, Duke, Ross, NTU, and many more through face-to-face and online classes. You can check the links of all my videos in the description box. Remember, mantra for success is be aware and take informed decisions. Friends, recommendation process is an integral part of the complete application and therefore, an applicant should be extremely meticulous about the details of taking recommendation from the right person with an immaculate support for all his claims that he has made in the statement of purpose or essays. Recommenders' rank and status are less important than the fact that he has evaluated an applicant in professional context and is willing to give the applicant an outstanding recommendation. An applicant must know that in the recommendation section of the application, you need to insert the recommender's email ID, which should be his official or corporate email ID. This should be done after an applicant has carefully selected a recommender. Once you do that, a link is sent to the recommender through an email from the business school to submit the recommendation. It is all online these days, where the recommender is generally not needed to send hard copies, but be sure of the school's specific policy. In case of doubt, send a mail to the business school and get it clarified. Pay extra attention as ultimately it is your work and any such mistake can spoil the complete application. It is significant to pay notice to the fact that for thousands of applications and hundreds of available seats, only a few admissions professionals are working. A few particularly important aspects to be covered in a, let's say, 2-page long recommendation or a recommendation with a set of questions are introduction of the recommender, his interaction with the applicant professionally and personally, comparison with the peer group, and how the recommender rates the applicant. Recommenders should talk about the applicant's strengths through appropriate anecdotes and illustrations and should be quite positive about his or her career goals. He should be aware of the candidate's greatest strengths as well as weaknesses or improvement areas. However, the recommender should focus more on the applicant's effort and decision to progress and overcome the weakness and eventually upgrade the skill set. Admissions committee is keen on examining the extent to which an applicant's recommender has endorsed the strengths mentioned by the applicant in the statement of purpose or essays. If the applicant claims he or she possesses excellent team dynamics, then the admissions officer should be able to see the same reflected in the recommendation also. Try to convince the recommenders to overlook shortcomings and stay focused on constructive qualities. Try to make the process as easy for your recommender as possible. You can also write a rough draft of recommendation and share it with your recommender if he is fine with it. You should talk about all the schools that you are applying to and also discuss your positioning strategy. Make your recommender's job easy by providing all the deadlines of the schools to him and also by sharing your essays, resume, and discussing the relevant strengths and weaknesses with him. Any statement mentioning about the qualities of the applicant should be followed by an anecdote or illustration, as only adjectives will not be able to convey much. To summarize it, all that is needed is that your recommender should also be in sync with your vision. Friends, write it in comments if you think I missed out on any important aspect. I shall also be sharing number of videos on the related topics like selection of the right business schools, essays, recommendations and interview preparation for business schools worldwide from concept to completion. You can call me for free counseling and also take my professional help for the admissions process. Stay tuned for the next video on MBA admissions process for top business schools, recommendations part 2, where I will be talking about who should be your recommender, when to start the process, categories of recommendations, and a few noteworthy points to keep in mind. Take care and stay safe.